somehow. But we thank God. It's for the good of the kingdom. One thing you have to bear is the flesh. Most times it's the flesh that deters us from reaching our goals. The flesh and fear of uncertainty. But with the grace of God, all things are possible. Those men and women love God. They love God. They really love God, as in the extreme sense of it. They love God. So we should also love God. As someone is ministering, they don't look at anyone. They look unto God. If God says yes, a doctor can leave his... I've seen doctors, I've seen pilots, engineers. Engineers are very many. I've seen pharmacists. If God says leave, they leave and come and serve God. And they get back to zero. A medical doctor, an engineer, a chemist. Someone tells you I was getting 100% in chemistry. So that's the kind of intelligence God bestows on someone. Then God says, leave that, come and serve me. So for them, they are not worried of anything. If God says, come, they don't look back. They just, with all their credentials, with all their qualifications. So I wish we could also love God in that way. In our class, we have a pilot. But if you see him, you cannot even know that he's a pilot. He's down to earth. One thing God does is all the titles you have, you lay them down, and then he builds you a flesh. Here is you who knows that I'm a pastor. There, I'm a common person. Though, by the grace of God, by the Spirit of God, some will be revealed to you that we're pastor, and some call you Pastor Ben, others call you our Papa. So, it's by the grace. Much as you will not say anything that I'm a pastor, someone will come and say I'm a pastor, so it's by grace. But all is called in the name of God. We thank God. So, it is I wished everyone could come. Yeah. I just wished everyone would make it there. So you easily tap into what God designed you to be. We thank God. The dealings are many, in that you don't have time of your own. You don't have, they tell you we have your time. Even just mere eating food, you see you're wasting time. So there is no time. So let's learn to keep time. Let's learn to love God in the true sense of loving God. No one can force anyone that go and minister. No one, they don't beg you, but you are inspired by seeing other people minister. So I once again thank Mommy, thank Mrs. Ukolovi, and everyone that has prayed for me to be there. So, as I told you, there was a time I felt I was like running mad. I think, let me share this. My dad got a scholarship to go and study in Italy. But he came back, things had run berserk. So one time a lecturer, as you know, they leave the lecturing and then they are driven by the Spirit of God. So he said, as was lectured, he said, you will not run mad. Your father got a scholarship to go and study, and he left mad. He didn't complete, but for you, you will not run mad. You will finish. I say, this man is talking about me. So that's when I started coming back to my senses. And one time a lecturer called me out of the class and he prayed for me. I prayed for the spirit of confusion to leave you. Yeah. You finish. Any historical background, I break it and I started gaining consciousness. So the devil fights. There are things you may not know that are inside, or things are the forces running after you. You may not know until you are into the real thing, where the devil doesn't want you to be. So the devil fought, but at least God has seen me. I've completed the first year. So it's been by the grace of God. All that is by the grace of God. There was a time I lacked something to eat. I didn't know that God wanted me to fast. So when I was leaving, Mommy made a prayer that, God, if this is the time you made for him to suffer, give him the grace. So I don't know if she still remembers that prayer when she was praying for me, that God, if this is the time you made him to suffer, give him the grace. So I would remember those words. I say, hey, this is the time. In the compound where I stay, there is a mango tree. So times I would wait for a mango to fall. And that is in the night. Because seeing someone, everyone knows that someone who comes in, a foreigner who comes in has money. So they see you waiting for a mango to fall down, and then you pick it and eat. That is. So I would wait late in the night, like around midnight, wait for a mango to fall to eat, then drink a glass of water and sleep. So that continued for some months. But God saw me through. I knew God wanted me to, because there are times you cannot fast if the eats are there. So, but all is good in the name of God. It's my prayer that at least someone can also get there. Hallelujah. We are in the period of giving thanks to God, or a period of thanksgiving. And we know that giving thanks is not something new to us. Though it may be new to our ears, but it's not new to our ears in actual sense. So giving thanks is upon us, and we have to, by all means, to give thanks. So I give thanks. That is, I was one way or another giving thanks to God, who has seen me through there, and now I'm back here. It's hot that side, but I was like, if people can survive here, why can't I survive? So I've survived and I've not died. Hallelujah. So, and it also teaches you to switch your mind to the surroundings. Kwagala sang a song that even in the fire, so you will not know the fire until you've gotten into the fire. But it's the grace of God that enables you to switch your mind from the fire and look unto him. In that even when the fire is burning, you cannot feel that the fire is burning. There is a season, there is February, March, April, where you wash clothes at 8 p.m. in the night. You leave them in the house, and by 10 p.m. they are dry. Not soft clothes, but hard clothes. 8 p.m. you wash, you hang them in the house, by 10 p.m. they are dry. So that's the kind of heat. So you sit in the house, you are sweating, but you don't even know that, you don't mind the sweat. So that's how God can tune your mind to look unto him. The heat is terrible, but you are sitting in the house, and sweat is profusing. Sweating is not something shameful. And one thing that made me praying is too much that side. Flowing like water. So I was looking at that and I was feeling disgusted. One time the preacher stood and said, some of you are here, you don't want to go to the toilet, you don't want to sweat, but you will sweat. So I sweated minus no one telling me to. And he made another statement, someone else made another statement. If you are here and you've not adjusted your belt to another hole or to the last hole, you will not pray. I say, these are young boys. We fasted. And you are not losing weight. But my friend, it was in May that I started reducing complete. At least I've now added weight. This is too much weight, but there was a time my eyes were hollow. I say, yeah. That's when I started submitting. I laid down my crowns and I surrendered. I said, God, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that I had even lost weight. Someone told me, hey, you have lost weight. It is a common thing for someone to tie a belt and this other part gets up to here. It's a common thing, and it's a common thing for people for their trousers to fall like you walk comfortably and you're supposed to tuck in at all times. At all times, you're supposed to, unless you're wearing native like this, because Wednesday and Friday are supposed to be native like this. But what they call corporate, you're supposed to tuck in. Whether you've lost weight, so that's how it is. But all in all, if you look at your surroundings, you're not going to achieve what you're supposed to achieve. So that is all by grace. We go through that all by grace. Seeing a doctor, a medical doctor, not just a nurse who says, I'm a doctor, but a medical doctor, someone who went, for them they go for, I think, 6 or 7 years, medicine. But someone lays down all that. So it's the grace. An engineer lays down that and serves God. But they tell them that make sure you had God. So don't be excited because others are leaving their professions, but you must be sure that God is the one who has called you. So all in all, when God sends you somewhere, I've realized today, this year, that provision is sure deal. If God puts you in a place, provision is sure deal. If you lack, then there is something you have to, everything that happens around in your life, you're trained to consult or seek, inquire from God. What is this, God, you want me to learn through this? What Mommy has always told us here, I've tested it, that side. At least I've not had too much on me because at least I had some little foundation. But there are those who come 1 year into salvation Some have cried, some cried tears because they are getting to new things. So, it's my prayer that at least someone should get there. So, we are thanking God this year, as always. We are going to celebrate our 27th Thanksgiving. I told you I'm nervous a little, so bear with me. We are celebrating our